We're just learning crossing the Bloomberg terminal right now is set to book $9 billion in sales this year. According to people familiar with the situation here, that number could rise to about $15 billion in 2024. A rare look into the finances of a very closely held company, of course, a company controlled by Sir Elon Musk. Ed Ludlow joining us right now, the co-host of Bloomberg Technology. He'll walk us through what we know here and give us a sense here, Ed. $9 billion this year. Do we know what that's up from?
It's basically double last year.
Yeah.
So there's kind of two stories. One, they're growing revenues rapidly, but the key thing is going into next year, $15 billion of revenue. The majority of that's going to be Starlink, not sending rockets into space. And Elon Musk has talked in the past about how capped that business is. But if you're a potential investor out there and you want a slice of this action, a Starlink spin-off is what you've been eyeing for some time.
Well, just to be clear, when you say cap, you're talking about the satellite business, the idea that it's basically just one and done for each launch, right?
So exactly, there's a finite amount of money you can make sending rockets into space, carrying payload for a third party.
Gotcha,
Not only is Starlink higher margin revenue, but you just keep adding subscribers and use the existing constellation base, you make more money. And they've put some really big numbers out there about the future, but this is kind of contemporaneous. And big revenue growth, with most of it coming from Starlink, will be interesting to those that hope there will be a spin-off in the near future.
That's got to be the question that everyone's asking, right? How did they participate? How did they get a piece of this? And is there any indication that there is going to be a spin-off or an IPO of Starlink or SpaceX?
So Musk posted on X last week that the Starlink business has reached cash flow break even. That was one of the metrics that he said he wanted to see for an eventual spin-off, but we haven't heard more about a spin-off. The other number that my colleagues and I are just reporting is that EBITDA for this year is like $3.5 billion. So that gives you a sense of their overall health of their finances on the bottom line. Will this be enough to push them to do something? We don't know that for certain, but I think that's what the market will hope for.
This is an Elon Musk-led company, which means that I'm sure there are other ambitions at work here beyond rocket launches and the satellite business. Do we have any sense of what the next terrain is, frontier is for SpaceX?
Look, it goes back to Romaine's question earlier. The launch business is capped. Starlink could be a cash cow, could make lots of very high margin revenue in the very near future. But all of that money is to meet SpaceX and Elon Musk's long-term goal of putting humans on Mars. And I know every time I say that, it's so hard to believe, but that is the ambition. And because it's a private company, it can move forward with that goal without the sort of restrictions that being a public company might bring you with such a vivid ambition.